They left my cell and it wasn't too long before they came back. He said, "You are from Louisville, all right," and he used a curse word. And he said, "We are going to make you wish he was dead." The 1960s were a time of change. Baby boomers and many others were no longer content in living with the present conditions, including segregation. Revolutionary ideas began and continue to evolve, molding the lives of the present and the past. Fanny Lou Hamer was born October 6, 1917, into a large family of sharecroppers on the Mississippi Delta, an especially oppressive place for African Americans at the time. The youngest of 20 children, Fanny grew up poor and dropped out of school very young to pick cotton. She married a sharecropper, like herself, and the two made a living doing hard plantation work near Louisville, Mississippi. August 1962, Hamer showed up for a mass meeting to learn about voting. At that meeting, she was told something she had been previously unaware of. African Americans were allowed to vote, and Mrs. Fanny Lou Hamer decided she would. She would vote. August 31st, 1962, Fanny and 17 others boarded a bus. This bus was headed for Indianola, and the 18 of them were ready to register to become first-class citizens. 2 at a time, they took literacy tests. Fanny was met in Louisville by her husband and children. They told her the plantation owner was angry, and indeed he was, on account of her trying to vote. Soon after, the owner came to her and confirmed this. Fanny recalls, he said, "If you don't go down and withdraw your registration, you will have to leave." Said, "Then if you go down and withdraw," said, "you still might have to go, because we are not ready for that in Mississippi." And I addressed him, and I told him and said, "I didn't try to register for you. I tried to register for myself." She had to leave that same night. 18 years of faithful work, and, for simply trying to vote, she was kicked off, without second thought. Fanny went to stay with friends. She was located and fired up by the KKK. June the 9th, 1963, she attended a voter registration workshop, and on her way back to Mississippi, Fanny was arrested. While in jail, she was mercilessly beaten, and more. Hamer explains, "One white man, my dress had worked up high. He walked over and pulled my dress. I pulled my dress down, and he pulled my dress back up." Finally, Hamer got the chance to tell her story at the Democratic National Convention. On August 22, 1964, in Atlantic City, New Jersey, Hamer spoke of the struggles and threats she experienced while pursuing constitutional rights, and sent a powerful message that pleaded for true equality. The president blacked out her speech on television with an impromptu press conference, but regardless, by that night, Mrs. Fanny Lou Hamer was broadcast on all major networks. Hamer ended her speech with a question that was sure to move all Americans, black or white. A question that would make people stop and think, make them change their ways. Quote, "All of this is on account of we want to register, to become first-class citizens. And if the Freedom Democratic Party is not seated now, I question America. Is this America, the land of the free and the home of the brave, where we have to sleep with our telephones off the hooks because our lives be threatened daily, because we want to live as decent human beings in America?" And the answer must have been no, because finally, February 10th, 1964, the Civil Rights Act, which prohibits discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, was finalized and passed, and America began to close the painful gap in constitutional rights.